class, good evening again. This is going to be the first case study that we're going to do together. This is the Demarco case study in the 11th edition. It's at page 54. And before I start, let me just give you a little idea of how we're going to proceed through this. We're going to start with a discussion of the case study, what it is that we want to look at in the case study, and then I'm going to have a break. I'm going to look at you and say, now I want you to go do the work, and I'll just stand here. Okay? At that point in time, what I want you to do is stop the video. Okay? And go and do the work that we've discussed at the outset, and then I'm directing and hoping that you would do as you go forward with the application of the case study to our learning. After you've done that for a while and you're satisfied, I've done what it is I wanted to do, you restart the video, and then there'll be another subsequent discussion about how I might see that item that is the subject of concern in a given case. Now, this is just me standing here and giving my view. There is nothing that if you don't agree or you didn't come up with the same result, don't feel, wow, I don't agree with the professor, I must be wrong. The purpose of the case study, as I said when we started out, we were discussing how we do responses, is to say there is a set of facts that we can all look at and have a discussion about. But as a result of the fact that the facts are set, okay, we now, when we look at them and we see them in different ways, we can point to different facts that might be important to us. Okay? So as we go forward, my recitation is not the only one that applies. There are other ones that are of equal import that you might come up with. Now let's say you come up with something and it's something I really didn't think of, and it might be a little bit off the beam. Okay? You might sit there and say, wow, why was I looking at that? So the idea is to foster your critical analysis of the case studies, not to foreclose any one view as you go forward. Okay? So with that said, let's look at this one. This is the Demarco case study. As I said, it's at page 54 of the textbook. You want to read the case study. Okay. When you look at a case study, okay, and you're doing your analysis, I think you have to have someplace to start. Bottom line. And in developing my own career, my own techniques for looking at case studies, and what I would suggest to you now is I always ask 4 questions. Right? Kind of help me get oriented, so to speak. I said, well, what the heck was working here? What mistakes are they making? What changes would you suggest? And what might you suggest they not do? I mean, when you think about it, these are the basic things that as you read a case study, you'd want to ask yourself, what's going on? What's working? What's not working? What should they do? What shouldn't they do? Okay? These are the basic, 4 basic questions that, as you went forward with any case study, okay, the Demarco one or any at all, that you could sit there and you could maybe give 2 or 3 things. This is what they were doing was good. This is what they were doing was bad. They should keep doing this. Whoa, don't do this anymore. Okay, so you're going to read the Demarco case study. You get these 4 questions. And for this case study, I want you to ask this question to yourself. What's the issue or issues? Now, if you say that, remember, you just don't get to say, the issue is blah. Right? You got to think, who are the stakeholders that are being involved here? Why is it an issue? Okay, so it's, the idea of identifying the issue, that's only a first step, because then you have to be able to say, okay, this issue is important because these people are impacted by it. Or this issue is important because these folks over here are going to be impacted by it. So, what I want you to do, okay, is now it's page 54. It's only 1 page long. Okay, I want you to read the case study. You have 4 basic questions you're going to ask yourself, right? What's going on? What's the company doing? Okay? What changes should the company make? What's working? What isn't working? Okay, 4 questions. So now what I want you to do, and with those in mind, identify some issues and stakeholders. I want you to stop this video, okay, and go do that. And then, after you've done that, come on back and we'll have an additional discussion. Welcome back. We're in the Demarco case study. So we have 4 big questions, right? What are they doing? What changes should they make? What works and what isn't working? So 4 questions, okay? And the issue would appear to be communication. What are they doing? They have a situation where it looks like they're going to do some mining. They have to communicate that to some tribal leaders. It looks like they're telling some, but maybe not all. It's raising concerns. They're having discussions amongst themselves. Okay, so maybe those discussions aren't transparent to the folks that they're going to be impacting on, or they're saying one group or one line to a group of individuals. Maybe they have to refine their communications so they're ethical. Okay. So as you look at your issue, whatever issue you identify, okay, that maybe there has to be greater disclosure or less disclosure, whatever, okay, I want you to look at those issues and now ask yourself some questions, okay. The first thing is, who are the stakeholders and how do we define them for that given situation or that given issue, okay? All right. Next, look at your issue, right? I want you to think to yourself the following. As you frame that issue, right? Remember, it's very short, so you declare a sentence, a little question. Okay? Are you talking about an ethical issue? Are you talking about a legal issue? Right? Are you talking about something that has components of both? Right? Are you talking about something that's voluntary or something that's mandatory? Okay, I want you to think in your own mind. Okay, what kind of issue am I really looking at? Is it a one that's acute, and hence it's an issue? Or is it some chronic issue, and it's a dilemma for the company? All right? And finally, okay, because harkening back, the Patriots now are in the Super Bowl, will do what Coach Belichick says, you know, do your job. What's Demarco's job here? Okay? He has a job. His job is communication. It is to interface with these tribal leaders for his company. So he's got a job. Is that the specific components of his job? Is the nature of his job, the compliance of his working requirements with the job, creating issues itself? So these are all things I'd ask you to consider. Right? There's no straight singular answer. Okay? But look at your facts and say, you know, what's working here? What's the company doing? It's communicating. What changes might it have to make? Maybe it's only communicating in a very simple way, going out and talking to people. Maybe it's getting more than that. What's it doing right? Well, it is talking to people and disclosing what's going on. What's it doing wrong? Maybe those disclosures are finite, fixed, and limited, and they should be a little bit grander. Okay? And then the different issues, who are the stakeholders? You've got a lot of them here, right? You have Demarco, obviously. You've got his boss, Barbara. You've got the company Xenon, right? Natural Resources. You've got Demarco. You even, on a certain level, you can say Texas University. What do they teach them to do, right? So you got all these different people, right? And then the focus of your discussion, okay? The discussion seems to be more ethically focused. What do we tell the tribal leaders? However, it says in it, he's going to do strip mining. Strip mining is heavily legally regulated, okay? Or is he in an environment where he can find an environment that doesn't have that? Okay, so that's something to think about. And then, like I said, what is Demarco's job? So this is what you want to look at when you look at a case study. Like I said, no answer is right, no answer is wrong. But you just want to be able to think about it and look at how, even though it's one page long, there's a lot you could delve into here. All right, I'll see you soon. We'll do another case study. Have a good night now. Take care. Bye-bye.